Hello, everybody. I'm Dani. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about the books that I've read in May. May was definitely a good month this time. Well, I had a very rough week at the start of the month, but then I also went on a vacation in London, and I promise you next week you'll be seeing the book haul because I've been kind of lazy since I came home. I finished six between books and mangas, so I'm showing you every single thing that I've read, also what I'm reading right now. So, let's start. First thing that I finished was The Promised Neverland Volume 2 by Kaiju Shirai and Puzuka Demitsu. This is a manga series. It's described as an horror. I wouldn't define it like that. I would say it's more like a psychological thriller. It's about these kids who live in a sort of orphanage. When one of them gets to leave, the smartest of the orphanage discover something about the place they're living, the reason they're living there, and it's devastating. It gives you anxiety. When I reached the breaking point in the first book, I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to read the rest, but the point is, I'm very curious. So I kept reading, and I kept reading this one too. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Um, Plot twists everywhere. Like, what? You don't know who you could actually trust in this series. At the same time, like, you want to know how things are going to um, develop somehow. Interesting. So I'm absolutely going to read the third book. I have the first 5 volumes. They've been a gift. um, so I'm sure I'm going to read the third one. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading more. Then I finished a book that sadly haven't been translated into English. The book is called Stanotte guardiamo le stelle by Ali Esani. This is the story of this child that came from Afghanistan to Italy, and it's the part about his flee, how he arrived here in Italy, all the suffering they had to go through because of war in Afghanistan. There's another book that talks about his life in the refugees communities here in Italy, and I'm interested into reading that. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a very, very heavy book because of the topic and because it's an autobiography. Um, it's written very, very well, and I really loved Ali's story, and I absolutely hope nobody needs to go through what he went through. Also, I'm pretty aware that this is probably going to happen even more because of climate change, um, and also the wars and everything absolutely horrific that is going on in the world. So this story was very devastating, actually. Then I went to London. While I was in London, I read a book that I'm going to talk about in a second. But when I was there, I bought a Paddington Bear because I've always wanted a Paddington Bear. And while I was at it, I actually bought also 2 copies. This is a big spoiler of my London book haul, but I bought 2 copies of Paddington. The first one is this illustrated version, about the like how Paddington got his human family, basically, because he's a bear that comes from Peru, and he is at the Paddington station in London, and this family finds him and welcome him, basically, as part of their family. This version has been illustrated by Airview Alley. Uh, it's a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, but this is just the start. So I bought also the collection, the first three stories by Michael Bond. The illustrations are great. I really love them. I absolutely love Paddington's story. Um, I knew him when I was a child, but I don't know. It wasn't really into Italian culture, this story. But when I was older, so not many years ago, actually, I got to watch the first two films with my grandmother, and we loved them. Sadly, she couldn't make it to the third one, but my boyfriend hasn't watched them at all. So as soon as we can, we're going to watch the trilogy, because at the moment is a trilogy. I love the movies. I love the movies, and that book was very heartwarming, I would say. Let me tell you, I sometimes I know the words, but they just don't come out from my mouth. So like they're stuck there. So I apologize if some words that I say are not exactly what I was meaning to say, or they're wrong. I apologize. I finished on my Kobo La Sonnambula by Bianca Pizzorno, which is an Italian story about this woman who has a sort of epilepsy since she was a child. So when she has seizures, she also sees the future. She gets married with a man who treats her awfully. So she ran away. She invents a new identity and start being a sort of a medium, I would say. So she start mm, seeing women that want like any type of advice, or people want to be in contact with those they have lost, and although she's faking it, she makes a career out of it, and she gets to know a lot of people of very different place from the one she grew up and she ran away from. And I liked the story. It was written in a very nice way, but I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because the story itself missed something. I really can't say what was missing from the story, because like it's been half a month since I finished the book and I still don't know. But there was something missing to me. I don't know. I can tell you what. But it was a good book. It was nominated for a big literary award here in Italy. So I guess it will get a translation. I don't know. Usually this is how it works. Those who get that nomination, they get translation, because um, that word is so important that people outside of Italy, they get to know these books. I've started a new manga series because I don't have enough manga series to read, and so I casually picked Takashi del negozio di biciclette. I'm going to search for the English title because I'm sure there's an English title. The author is Arare Matsumushi, and I bought this book when it came out in Italy. No jokes. No jokes. Let me see. Oh, wow, I've got the Spanish translation at first. I don't know what happened. Let me see. Sorry, I'm boring. Oh yeah, Takashi from the bike shop. This is like the easiest translation, luckily. And this book follows Tomoko Hanno, also known as Panko, which is 30, and she works in this office, and she can't say no to anyone. Also, she's pretty uncomfortable most of the times. She has to do something that it's out of her comfort zone, and she goes to work with her bike. At some point, something happens, so she needs her bike to get repaired. And casually, she meets Takahashi, which is also the owner of a bike shop. So he fixes her bike, but also starts to talk to her. And I think this is going to be a romantic kind of manga, but the premises are very interesting because of the age of the characters. I'm almost 29. I turned 29 in a couple of days. And this is, I think, the first manga that I read with older characters, if I'm not mistaken. So that's great. That's great. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. And yeah, I want to keep on reading this, absolutely. Actually, I'm going to include the volume 2 in the next book call. Oops. Then I finished with an Italian book. Okay, L'Arminuta by Donatella Pierantonio. I'm searching for the translation because I swear this one has been translated. I know that. Cannot be the opposite. Let me see. This is a very well-known author, and this wasn't even her first book, but this one I think is the most famous. Let me see. Okay. A Girl Returned is the title, which is actually the translation. The right translation. L'Arminuta means in a slang, the girl who came back. And it's about this girl. She's like 13, if I'm not mistaken. No, she's like, yeah, 12 or 13. And she has lived with this wealthy couple for her whole life until some point what she thought was her mother told her she's not her biological child, and her biological family wants her back. Her adoptive mother got sick somehow, and so now the um, the main character, which I don't remember her name because everybody was calling her Larminuta. Um, I don't know. I don't know her name. I don't remember her name. Anyway, um, she goes back to her biological family, and she has no contact with her adoptive family. They just take care of her needs, financially wise. So she goes to this family that she doesn't know. She's absolutely unaware of what's going to be her life, and she finds herself living into a very poor family made by two parents, three older boys. No, two. Yeah, three older boys, if I'm not mistaken. Younger girl and a little child, and nobody loves her. I'm telling you, nobody loves her except for her little sister. Well, she's a couple of years younger than her, and this book is about like motherhood and being a child, being a daughter, being a sister. It's a heavy book. I give it a 4 stars, about 4 stars, because it was quick. It was good to be read, but it was painful. It was extremely painful. I couldn't stop reading this book without thinking, damn, that's a big group of traumas to deal with um, when she'll be younger, when she'll be an adult, because that's a lot to unpack. Okay, there's so much pain and so little love. Also, like, what the hell? Like, since the beginning, I was like, what the hell is going on in this book? I liked it. I'm going to read more by this author. Also, there's a sort of like saga about L'Arminuta. So I'm going to read the other books as well for sure. But what the hell is going on? Like, I was terribly sorry for her, and also curious about how everything was going, because what the hell? Okay, like, I don't come from a very functional family, or like healthy family, absolutely, but that was a lot. I'm currently in the middle of Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, and I'm telling you, this book I think is going to be a 5 out of 5 stars. Like, this, I don't read many romances, but if I want to read a good romance, I know that I have to turn to these two because they're great at writing, okay? And although Love in Other Words reminds me a bit too much of every summer after by Carly Fortune that I loved and was published after the Christina Lauren book. I'm loving this book. Damn, I'm loving this book. I have to stop reading it because I'm feeling so many feelings. Okay, it's well written. I just love it. I don't know where I'm going to read next, but I promise you I'll do my best to post the book haul next week. I know I've been absent for quite some time, so I'm sorry. Anyway, see you next week, or at least see you next video, and have great reads. Bye!